All right. Hello, besties. It's Weaver, your internet father. Trying to do this all in one take. Had to make sure that this is working. I've had some questions about audio before, so I got these fancy things recently. I got the dusty top and I got the regular top I'm using right now, and I should probably charge them to the system. I'm here to do more of a booktube thing because I finished a bunch of books recently. I want to talk about them, but first, I don't really have news on Launchpalooza. Things are chugging along. I'm actually talking to Railroad staff this week, um, which is to say, I am now a big man on campus. Ink light. All right, so I'm writing on Royal Road. I'm just gonna this is gonna be for the authors, and then we're gonna go into. Actually, you know what? I'll save the ink light stuff till the end. I'm gonna talk about books because I'm gonna gush about stuff I just read. So let me tell you something. Last year, uh, it is October 24th. Last year, I read like 96 books, and right now I'm at like 35. That feels wrong. I have not been tracking my books so well, so I had to go back through. But yeah, a bunch of them were um, stuff like this. I did a reread of this. I really want to read Hiroshi and Fog and Fireflies, even though I have Hiroshi on audio. That's kind of my thing. And the creator of Hiroshi just dropped a Kickstarter, which I'll get the link for and I'll put it below. If I forget to do it, Buddha, just drop a link there. I want to support my friends. So like safe to say, like I'm like trying to figure out what happened, and I think what happened is that I stopped tracking my books. But I got to go through, there's a lot of books I didn't finish. I did not finish Demon Card Enforcer 2, which I really liked, the first one, but I don't know. Sometimes when something's so good, you're like, I don't want to finish it because then it's over. You ever feel that? I don't know. But so what I did do is I just mainlined straight into my veins. Do more Boba Shop books 3, 4, and 5. So there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in here, and I don't care. I don't care if there's spoilers. If you don't want to hear about Dean World Boba Shop or Roombound Professor or my thoughts on them, get out. I got nothing for you. Let me quickly explain what Inklight is, and then you can leave. So Inklight is kind of like the rising stars of this. I will do a separate video on Inklight, but basically it's a rank list sorted by freshness, right? And then every time, so your book starts with the same amount of chips as everybody else, and then let's say every book has the same amount of chips, like the median value. So like you have every chance of being in the top inclines. So I went from like number 3 to number 23, probably be at number 3 on Bodega Cat next time I update it. So like basically the balance is DK after time. So the longer it's been since you posted, the less likely it's going to be on Inklight, right? So Inklight prioritizes freshness, and it also prioritizes you posting regularly, as far as I understand it. So actionable, there's not like a concept of a run. There's just like, as long as you're still there, you could be fresh. You can be in the top like 50 or whatever of Inklight. And why it's important, because you want to be able to read your book. So if you're in the top stuff when someone opens up novelizing.com, that's great. Inklight is a tool, right? The ultimate end goal is going to be probably self-publishing or generating a Patreon so big you don't even need to self-publish. Like the Dell guy does not need to self-publish, and his work might be unpublishable because of all the math, but like he could because he's making so much money every month. Anyway, so I'll do a longer one on that because I don't really have a takeaway yet. I just have the information. And then like a little update about me is like I am preparing stuff for my replacement. So like I'm in the military. If you had no idea, And basically, like this week, I'm gonna find out where I'm gonna go next summer. And so all I'm doing is I'm preparing a continuity binder for my replacement, and then I'm gonna start winding down my business and handing off to her. Thankfully, I know her really well because we deployed together. She's a gem. But like that means I've been doing a lot of activity, and also like the government shutdown right now. I'm going to date this because this is during the government shutdown. I don't know if I'm going to get paid next week. Who knows? I'm going to stay positive. I don't want to talk about politics, real politics right now. But let's just say like I'm not really happy. The civilians are gone. I would like them to be there. I would like things. I would like to not have to think about politics. That is it. And if you read my books, you might, if you can't figure out my political leanings from my books, then you probably need to read them again. Then I have a book for you. It's called How to Read Literature Like a Professor, which I will mail to you if you're the first person that responds, because I have to finish it. And if somebody tells me they want to read it, I will mail it to them within the continental United States. What else happened? It's a paperback draft copy of my book. Surreal looking at your own book and knowing you did it. And I'm just like, let me get to a. I did that. This was like 3 months of work. And like they have my stupid cards in here. Right? Like there's a text box of someone's freaking ability card. And I'm excited because eventually the freaking printer is gonna get my stuff done for Kickstarter. Need to kick their asses. Yeah. So I took a day of leave today. It's Friday to take care of some stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I'm a kid again. I'm like, I have nothing to do, even though I have a bunch of things to do. I'm like, I just need to kind of enjoy it, right? And that's that work-life balance thing. Because I've been pushing so hard at work, writing's been a little bit de-emphasized, right? And we all have these kind of like seasons of sacrifice, or like these seasons, and I kind of knew this was gonna happen because most of my job is analyzing policy and like writing policy in a very, 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 very niche area, which asked me about that after I PCS. But there's a lot of changes in my office that have nothing to do with me that also might affect me and the people that the population I serve, right? Anyway, so Demon World Boba Shop. This is the spoiler portion. So I love R.C. Joshua. I actually read one of his other books like in full when it was on Royal Road because it was really good. It's called Dead World Isekai. Great book. It's rare for me to read a full book on Royal Road, but I just finished Sky Pride. I need to add it to my list. Sky Pride, October, because it's broken up too. I'll talk about that too. So Sky Pride is supremely well written, and I have written 4 books that are cultivator books, and it makes me think that I like this fantasy within fantasy. So when I say that, I mean I don't want an isekai. I want somebody experiencing for the first time that's in the world, right? I don't need the like. If you're not going to use someone's like past life for some reason, like then don't do it. So someone who did this really well was Hana, Hanne Lee. They have a series called The Horizon of War, where it's a realistic isekai back to the Middle Ages. And one of the main things the character knows is the times tables because no one knew how to multiply. So he becomes an accountant by virtue of his being able to count things quickly and other things, right? And Hana does this great job of explaining why in the Middle Ages, or like effectively the Middle Ages, things were like this. And I'm just like, I'm enraptured. I love this. And I think it's got 3 books out on audio now. But shout out to Hana because that shit's fire. I should read the second book of that series. Got a really weird progression. Because spoilers, he goes from being like an accountant to like being a land baron or a lord at the end of the first book, because he uses contemporary military tactics in his battle. He uses trench warfare in a medieval setting, and that is fascinating to me. So, Dean World Boba Shop, which I'm going to actually talk about, it says, so book 3 is kind of this arc of they're building up a town, and like all the little things that go along with that as they level up and they progress, and it's just so adorable. And then like book 4 is kind of like he's transitioning out of being the mayor, and he's like somebody else is gonna be the mayor, but he still is like, so the main character. He's such a, like the theme of the book, the theme of the series is like accepting help and helping others, right? So like he likes to help others, but he doesn't want to feel like helped. And I feel that like that's kind of like a tough pill for him to swallow, because he went to a nice world where everyone's nice, and it's like you can be nice and you can also say no to somebody. Like there is a duty, like I feel like a duty to, like an obligation to my country, right? An obligation to my family, but like the obligation to like society at large, I also feel that. But like the main character's view of duty to like the society of the demon world at large really plays into how he makes his decision. He's like, if I'm if he's got to do it for the cause, if he's got to do it for the greater good, then he will do it, right? And because that's what he brought from Earth. Like he brings that with him, right? And R.C. Joshua does this great way of like setting up this like thing where he has a assistant who's kind of like his daughter, but also his friend. And like, don't cry. But like I really wish that R.C. Joshua had a daughter, because they're freaking great. Because like my daughter thinks that I'm a giant dog that she can ride around. I'll be doing some piggyback rides when she wakes up in a little bit. But like, he wrote in the end of one of his books, he's like, hey, like I've never had a daughter, but this is how I thought it'd be like. And I'm like, just so you know, Mr. R.C. Joshua, because I know you might watch my stuff, because we're in the same circles. Like that is exactly what a daughter's like. Your daughter thinks that you are a giant dog, and she wants to ride you like a pony, or piggyback. Or last night they asked for a double piggyback because I have two kids. One is 6 and one is going to be 4. And I'm like, absolutely not, because I cannot control a double piggyback. Um, Even though I would if I could. Adorable. Um, and so like I love how there's a like a through line of like romance and like found family building and like welcome to the family. Um, Here's a little bit of, it's not tough love, but it's like you're going to do what mom says to do, because mom is going to feed you so much, right? Ella, the mom character has a bigger role in the first 2 books before they move to the frontier, which like happens because of stuff that happens in book 2. And like the whole 5-book series is like really well set up, and it's really satisfying, right? So spoiler alert, like in book 2, he figures out like how to do better shocks so that the demon transporters can go even further out, and that means that he's able to start a frontier town in book 3. Because I'm like, I don't know where, like once you have the shop in the shop book, I don't know where you're gonna go with that, but like he's like, the young demons and a few older demons are going to go expand the territory. And the other thing about the demon world is that every so often there is a demon wave, or a, what I forgot what they call it, but like there's a wave of enemies that comes by, and it's like it's predictable. It's like every 6 months to 2 years. So like basically you're gonna move out, and you have a year to 2 years to fortify your town against the monster wave, right? This is dungeons in this because it's a lit RPG, right? And our main character has decided not to be a fighter. He is a boba tea. I haven't even talked about the tea. Like the tea is a whole thing about how he uses magic in it, and like I'm like, this is such an interesting framing device. Is that like he uses his tea to make people feel better medically, but it's just a little bit better. But like it's something that no other class could do. And I'm like, I like that way that he's helping out in a small way. But like all that small things like that helps out, and then eventually he becomes the mayor in book 3. They like make him be the mayor. They're like, you're gonna be the mayor because you're the most social person. And also like I think that his role as being like the cook and also like the tea guy, the tea master, keeps him in the town all the time, where everybody else has like all these jobs that are external, or like even if they're internal, but like they have to move around. Like his girlfriend Mizu, um, she does the wells, but like I'm not going to go track down the mayor in the wells. The mayor has to be in the central place, right? This goes back to this like tribe thing of like the leader should be somebody that we all like, right? It doesn't have to be the strongest person, it doesn't have to be the smartest person, but it has to be somebody that we all agree with, right? The social person, right? Like I like being a leader in the military, but I do not want to be like, I do not want that because I'm the strongest. I want that because that's kind of who I am. Like I want to be a leader, but I also want to be respected. Um, so like people ask me like you have this like you could look at somebody and just be like treat them like a drill sergeant, or you could treat them like a person. And I would appreciate it if you treated somebody like a person, because like basically it builds trust. There's a time for you to act like a drill sergeant, right? And if you treat someone like a person 99% of the time, the one time that you're like, hey, I need you to do this thing, blah 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 blah, right now, they will take that more seriously, right? Because a lot of what I do is I can't directly tell people what to do because like I'm advising, so it's like this is my recommendation. This is the risk if you don't do this, or like this is what I would do. Like look at a lot of the things like people ask me about career advice because that's kind of what I do in my specific army role, and I'm just like, here are some people. I have a lot of connections. Talk to these people. Um, this is what I would do. This is what would be best for your career for the next 3 years, 5 years, whatever. But like, I'm not going to make the decision for you, but I will lay out all the variables because some people have different things. Like my thing right now is my kids. Like my son just picked up a pride flag, and I'm like, I need to get one for my wall. Um, I'm not sure if I should get the one with the V design or the regular one, but I'm gonna pick one out on Amazon right after this. I'm gonna order it. It's gonna go right next to my other flag. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna pick one out. That'd be dope as fuck. It's going long, but fuck it, I don't care. Because I'm not gonna do another one this weekend. All right, so I like the way that it's cozy. I'm thinking about writing a cozy because I'm kind of struggling with my current book, and I'm just like, I want to write spice, but I don't think I'm there, and I don't think that really is me. I'm more comedy. So like, if my writer voice is comedic and found family, I want to lean into that, right? And if it's not like the spicy whatever, okay, that's fine. But I'll try things like I'll try writing a horror. I'll try writing whatever. But like I like the way that played out, and I'm kind of getting away from like having a fighting character. I want more of a shopkeeper. If you've read my last couple books about like shopkeeper, or like more of a social diplomatic role, like where like the things that happen are more less about the fights and more about the interpersonal stuff, and jokes. Um, there's got to be some sort of like undercurrent of danger or something, or like that's my problem with the shop books. Like in Legends and Lattes, the coffee shop burns down, and that is a big thing. And it's not because of Viv is being shaken down by the dwarf mafia, the fantasy mafia. It just happens. All right, but like there has to be some sort of stakes in a book. Otherwise, why you're reading it? Like the basis of a story is that somebody wants to change something, and if he's got the shop all set up at the end of book 2, then where does he go? Well, obviously he goes to the frontier and sets up a new shop and becomes the mayor. and it takes him 2 months or 2 books to do that, and then he has to go to the Capitol in book 5 and talk about his progress and cause a lot of chaos, and eventually like give someone a surprise wedding and all this cool stuff that happens. Um, but yeah, so Dean Ward Bishop, highest regards. R.C. Joshua, if I see you, I'm gonna get your shit signed. I'm gonna find something for you to sign, even if it's not best, because I love you. And now let's talk about Roombound Professor by Actus. Okay, so I feel like they're totally different because Roombound Professor has got demons and kind of cultivators, but like they call it mages. But like in the end, they're both kind of comedy. They're both kind of found family, even if the danger is very real in Roombound Professor and fighting is a large part of it. I think that I know what I like, right? And if you like Doom World Boba Shop, you'll probably like Roombound Professor, even though it starts out really dark and it stays really dark. The stakes have gotten a little different. So in the first book, he's trying to survive, and in the fifth book, by the end of the fifth book, major spoilers, like he's trying to help his demon protege fix her runes, which is like kind of like her cultivation thing. And they go to the Shattered Plains, the demon world where she came from, and accidentally, because they're trying to fight this other mage. And I'm just like, I just read 4 or 5 chapters of him basically adopting demon orphans and then powering them up so that they can be his lackeys. And I'm like, holy shit! I did not see this. I did not see this like they jump from the plot line of like we're getting the kids at the he's a professor, Return of the Roombound Professor. We're getting the kids ready for their their test in their junior year of college versus um, orphan demons have formed a gang. They've taken over the one gang, and then the other gang has subsumed every other street gang. And this is the most entertaining thing I've read in a while. It's hard to put down. So Actus, well done. I did not expect that at all whatsoever. I'm like, okay, they can go to the Dream World, but like, are they gonna get back by in time for the exam that they've been spent the entire book preparing for? I don't know. Um, but it's the same thing where it's like a found family, it's comedy. Um, there's a lot of running jokes about like Lee the demon eats everything, um, or like Moxie, like her thing is about growing and growth, and then the main character Noah, he was isekai into someone's body who was a pervert, and somehow he's using that to his advantage because people don't expect him to be smart, but he's using the old guy's way of being perverted to like outsmart. Amazing, um, amazing. Um, and Ramon Diocampo, the guy who reads it, the narrator, spot on. So yeah, basically, whenever this next book comes out, I will be buying it. I'm excited for that. And if Sky Pride ever gets a audiobook, I'll read that. So Sky Pride, let's talk about Sky Pride. Sky Pride has been in like the top whatever, 5 to 10 trending for months. Um, it is a Shangsha. It is about a cultivator who starts off not knowing anything and makes a lot of mistakes. But he has like he has a helpful grandpa inner voice. And I'm talking to you right now, newbie writers. Do not use the helpful grandpa inner voice as italics. Only like 3 people get to do that. That's Orbipicus, Sky Pride, Actus, and Cradle. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you, Moomin. Don't do it. Um, yeah, I'm really enjoying Sky Pride. I'm gonna read uh, everything that's out there on Railroad. I might sub his Patreon, but it's a good story. It starts off slow. It builds slow, which is absolutely fine. Because like basically, it takes the first 30 chapters to go like 10 days, and then it skips a year when he joins the sect and learns some things about it. And I would just say like Warby Picus also wrote Weeaboo's Unfortunate Gotcha, the same writer, and I know that that was like well received. So like whatever they've got it. Right, the same thing. Actus has got it, but like Actus has been with Aethon forever, so Actus known thing. Demon World Loba Shop known thing, but like Sky Pride Peak. Um, and it's the kind of thing where I'm like, all right, I could try to analyze it and try to do my own thing. Um, I don't know if I want to write another Zhangxia. We'll see. I'm kind of at a crossroads now because we have about 40 days until Launch Palooza, and I am kind of stuck on this Blood Rights book. So I might end up doing a surprise swap late into the game and just doing it. But I have to have something ready for February. Oh man, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I gotta update my Kanban for my books. When I'm looking at all the stuff I have read more than 35 books. I just haven't written them all down. Um, highly recommend that. Highly recommend a bunch of stuff. Um, and then I am cooking something up for post, like a new annual thing that might play into the Immersive Quill Awards. We'll see. I didn't even put mock-ups or anything. I did. Okay, but it's been like a good year, and the next book I'm looking for is The Strength of the Few. I think The Will of the Many, The Strength of the Few by James Islington. Comes out on November 11th, Veterans Day. I would have taken off work to read it, but it's a federal holiday, so I can't even do that. Can I take off? Can I call it dead? Maybe. But this has gone on way too long, so I'm going to get back to writing. Um, read that stuff I just recommended. I also recommend Nova Roma. I sat on that for way too long, and Stubborn Skill Grinder 2 came out, and those are great. Jake's author, Jerry Matthews. I did not expect no. Like I knew he wrote well. I did not expect that. And maybe there's something about writers that used to be lawyers that I like, but I don't know. We'll see. Uh, drop a comment, besties. Follow. This is almost half an hour. Weaver. Eventually working my way into doing some of these interviews. But have a great day.